Well, the name of the gathering place came from Genesis 49:10. Unto him shall the gathering of the people be. Our first experience was with a young man that was in the hospital that was dying, and we found out while we were there that he was dying of AIDS. And we never figured in a million years that he would ultimately be the person that changed Melanie's and mine and our family's life forever. Well, when Melanie and I first got married and we moved all three children to Lancaster, Pennsylvania in 1975, we had a beautiful home on top of a hill, and we said, how can we share this with other people? And we read about Fresh Air Fund kids from New York City, and we said, let's do that. Then we upgraded to foster kids, and we took in foster kids for almost 8 years.
And we had a little boy from Haiti come and stay with us while he was being treated at the hospital here. He was dying in his country. I remember the night he arrived, he came to our house first before the hospital, and he just was, his whole body was infected, and I remember Allison scooping him up with towels and holding him on her lap and just rocking him because he was so sick he couldn't do more than whimper. And Allison was probably only about 10 or 11 at that time.
I was teaching the Dr. James Kennedy Evangelism Explosion course, and one of the girls that was taking it had attended Narcotics Anonymous meetings, and she met this man there, just a friend, not a boyfriend. His name was Al, and he was real sick and in the hospital, and she wanted to know, couldn't we go share this new experience of leading someone to Christ? We heard that he had a pneumonia, and it was called pneumocystic carinae pneumonia. It was something we had never heard of before, but it was AIDS related. He got better and got out of the hospital, and he went on Spanish radio station to encourage other young Latinos to stay away from drugs so they wouldn't become HIV infected also. And after people heard his name on the radio, they chastised him, they rejected him, they spit at him. They were just terrible to him, and it broke Melanie's and my heart.
You know, when you're struck with a terminal illness, it affects you in many ways. One is economically, and they weren't able to provide food for themselves or clothing or sometimes housing, and Bob and I were trying to do what we could to help them during these years of ministry, raising our children and them participating many Christmases. That's actually how we spent our Christmas, was our children coming along with us and them giving gifts during the day. And Jeffrey, I can remember him giving up toys, and Allison and Jess the same thing, and seeing the joy both on their faces as well as the children that were receiving the gifts.
The biggest thing I've gotten out of ministry is people allowing us to come into their lives, to come into personal things. Whether we have to remember with people with HIV positive, many of them, it's a tragedy story. It's from prostitution or from drug use or from an unfaithful husband, or so people to trust us and let us into their lives and be part of their lives has been the most fulfilling thing.
It's amazing to see God change people's lives.
Amen.
And that's probably the thing that's most fulfilling to me, is we've had a rare privilege and still have that same privilege to see people who thought God would never love them come to see He does.